Imagine, if you will, a tiny nation so diminutive that it could comfortably fit within just a single district of a sprawling metropolis. Yet despite its modest size, it harbors some of the most substantial fortunes on the entire planet. This paradoxical reality is embodied by the Principality of Monaco, a place that defies expectations at every turn. Here, residents enjoy the luxury of paying no income tax, while luxurious yachts often overshadow nearby apartments, creating a dazzling skyline of opulence. The country's police force is so numerous relative to its population that the ratio of officers to citizens is truly astonishing. But what truly sets Monaco apart, making it a place unlike any other, is its unique characteristic. There is no poverty to speak of within its borders. If you're curious about why this tiny, seemingly insignificant corner of the world is so extraordinary, so rich, so full of surprises, then prepare yourself. Today, Bellamundo takes you on an immersive journey through a nation where the concept of poverty simply does not exist, a country that has carved out its own extraordinary niche on the global stage. Let us begin with its location and some general information that sets the stage for understanding this remarkable place. When most people think of Monaco, three words immediately come to mind: luxury, noise, and, naturally, wealth. Wealth beyond what many can even imagine. But before delving into how this tiny strip of land transformed into one of the most exclusive destinations on Earth, it's essential to start with its geographical setting. Officially, Monaco ranks as the second smallest independent state in the world, coming only after the Vatican City. When we describe it as small, that is no exaggeration at all. The entire principality is so tiny that you could walk across its entire territory in less than an hour. It's almost hard to believe, but this is the reality of Monaco's size. What does Monaco lack in physical dimensions? It more than compensates for with its striking grandeur. Nestled between the neighboring country of France and the shimmering waters of the Mediterranean Sea, Monaco sits poised along the famed French Riviera, a location so mesmerizing that it seems almost surreal. The country boasts pristine, inviting beaches, towering skyscrapers that scrape the sky, and mountain landscapes so picturesque they seem straight out of a film. Although Monaco is not an official member of the European Union, it uses the euro as its currency thanks to special agreements with France, ensuring smooth economic and financial exchanges. Coupled with infrastructure that rivals that of the most developed nations on Earth, life in Monaco is remarkably comfortable and convenient. Every element of its design seems to cater to attracting the world's elite, whether they are tourists seeking glamour or residents seeking sanctuary. Despite its modest physical scale, Monaco's sophistication and elegance are unmatched, enchanting visitors and residents alike with its beauty, safety, and efficiency. Yet, what truly elevates Monaco above other nations is something extraordinary, something that defies the typical realities of a modern country. Unlike almost every other place on Earth, where poverty remains a persistent issue, Monaco stands as a shining exception. Inside this tiny country, you will find a society where economic hardship simply does not exist. It is a place where wealth is so pervasive that the idea of poverty has been virtually eradicated. Now, to understand how Monaco achieved such an extraordinary status, we should look back in history to the influential family that has long ruled this land, the Grimaldi family. Before Monaco became the glamorous destination famous for its luxury cars and glittering casinos, it had a history that stretched back centuries. It all began in the 1st century, when a Genoese rebel leader named Francesco Grimaldi devised a daring plan to seize the fortress that stood exactly where Monaco's territory now lies. Disguised as a humble Franciscan monk, Francesco approached the fortress gates, claiming he sought refuge and protection, appearing to be a simple, spiritual man in need of sanctuary. His ruse was so convincing that the guards believed him, opened the gates, and allowed him entry. Once inside, Francesco and his men launched a swift and decisive attack, taking control of the fortress and establishing their dominance. This clever stratagem was so successful that the Grimaldi family has maintained control of Monaco ever since. Fast forward to today, and Monaco is a constitutional monarchy, a political system where a prince serves as the head of state, but the country also enjoys an elected government and full democratic institutions, ensuring a blend of tradition and modern governance. This long history of strategic cunning and resilience has shaped Monaco into the extraordinary nation it is today, an enclave of wealth, elegance, and, remarkably, the absence of poverty. Monaco is a principality that is currently governed by Prince Albert II, a descendant of the renowned Hollywood icon Grace Kelly, who transformed from a celebrated actress into royalty upon her marriage to Prince Rene II. Their union, celebrated worldwide, became an emblem of sophistication, glamour, and timeless elegance, capturing the imagination of many. Yet, behind the scenes, their marriage was not without its share of turmoil and dramatic moments within the royal court, adding a layer of intrigue to their story. There exists a legendary tale surrounding the Grimaldi family, shrouded in mystery and superstition. According to local folklore, a monk, driven by fury over Francesco's deception, cast a curse upon the family, condemning them to a lifelong search for true happiness in love that would forever remain elusive. Whether this curse is merely a myth or a reflection of real misfortunes, history shows that the Grimaldi dynasty has endured numerous tragedies over the centuries. The most widely known of these tragic events is the death of Grace Kelly herself, who lost her life in a car accident that shocked the world and cast a somber shadow over her legacy. Setting aside these legends, it's important to recognize that Monaco's formal sovereignty was established at the dawn of the 10th century, following a series of treaties with France. Since that time, the Grimaldi family has dedicated itself to maintaining the principality's independence and fostering its extraordinary prosperity. Their efforts appear to have borne fruit, as Monaco has grown into a symbol of wealth, stability, and luxury, an achievement we will delve into more deeply in the subsequent part of this exploration. Now, moving on to what makes Monaco uniquely fascinating, its cultural landscape and intriguing details. Although the principality is minuscule on the map, its cultural richness and vibrant traditions make it surprisingly significant. The official language is French, yet the local dialect, known as Monegasque, continues to thrive among the most traditional residents, preserving a vital piece of Monaco's heritage. This linguistic diversity is a natural reflection of the population's cosmopolitan nature, as roughly 3/4 of its inhabitants are foreigners. Consequently, it is commonplace to hear a variety of languages, Italian, English, and others, spoken freely on the bustling streets, adding to the lively, international atmosphere. Interestingly, Monaco's national flag bears a striking resemblance to that of Indonesia. Both flags feature two horizontal stripes, red on top and white beneath, though they differ slightly in proportions. Indonesia's flag is wider, but at a glance, they seem almost like twin siblings separated at birth, sharing a simple yet powerful color scheme. Another curious aspect of Monaco's sovereignty is its military arrangement. Despite being an independent nation, it does not possess its own armed forces. Instead, a small royal guard is tasked with protecting the prince and the royal residence, ensuring security within the principality. For broader defense concerns, Monaco relies entirely on France, which steps in extreme situations to provide military support and protection. In terms of education, Monaco's approach is quite distinctive. It hosts only one official university, the International University of Monaco, yet its foundational education system is of remarkably high quality. Many of the local schools offer bilingual or even trilingual curricula, aiming to prepare the next generation of global citizens from a very young age. This emphasis on multilingual education underscores Monaco's commitment to cultivating a cosmopolitan, well-educated youth capable of thriving in an interconnected world. And yes, the principality even boasts its own national football team. However, don't expect it to participate in major international tournaments like the World Cup or the European Championship, as Monaco is not affiliated with FIFA or UEFA. Nevertheless, the country's passion for sports is exemplified by its renowned football club, AS Monaco. Playing in the French League, this club has achieved notable success, including reaching the UEFA Champions League final in 2004. This remarkable feat demonstrates that, in the world of sports, size is no barrier to excellence or achievement. Finally, having explored the rich history and fascinating facts about this extraordinary small state, you might be curious about how such a tiny territory, lacking significant industries or natural resources, managed to evolve into a global symbol of luxury and opulence. The answer lies in a combination of strategic vision, political stability, and a relentless pursuit of exclusivity, which transformed Monaco into a playground for billionaires and the world's elite, an enclave where wealth, glamour, and sophistication converge in a dazzling display of success. The secrets behind Monaco's unparalleled allure are rooted in several interconnected factors, but two stand out as particularly crucial. The first is the island nation's reputation as a premier destination for luxury tourism. To understand how this came to be, we need to look back to the 19th century, when a visionary prince, Charles II, proposed a daring plan to breathe new life into this tiny principality. His bold idea was to develop a grand casino in Monte Carlo, aiming to attract wealthy visitors and stimulate economic growth. Remarkably, this concept succeeded beyond expectations. The casino quickly drew in an influx of affluent tourists, transforming Monte Carlo into a glittering hub of high society and elite entertainment. Over the years, Monaco's appeal expanded to include a rich array of cultural and recreational attractions, prestigious opera houses, world-renowned theaters, opulent yacht shows, and a calendar filled with distinguished cultural events. Yet, perhaps no event has done more to cement Monaco's legendary status than the annual Formula One Grand Prix. For a week each year, the narrow, winding streets of this small principality burst into life, becoming a racetrack that embodies speed, sophistication, and wealth. The spectacle of sleek cars racing through the city's glamorous corners draws viewers from around the globe and turns Monaco into a pulsating center of adrenaline and elegance. When discussing Monaco's racing heritage, one cannot overlook the legendary Brazilian driver Ayrton Senna. Still revered as the King of Monaco, Senna's record of 6 Grand Prix victories there, including 5 consecutive wins, remains almost unchallenged. His legacy continues to inspire admiration, and his name is forever etched into Monaco's rich racing history. But luxury tourism is not the sole pillar of Monaco's prosperity. The second secret to its wealth lies in its unique tax policies. Astonishingly, the majority of residents pay no income tax at all, none whatsoever. This extraordinary tax haven climate, combined with Monaco's reputation for safety, its enviable Mediterranean climate, and its unmatched prestige, has made the principality a magnet for billionaires from across the world. Today, Monaco is far more than a wealthy enclave. It has become one of the most exclusive playgrounds for the global elite. The allure of this tiny state draws celebrities, renowned athletes, influential entrepreneurs, and ultra-rich individuals seeking a secure and luxurious sanctuary for their wealth, free from the burden of high taxes. Add to this picture Monaco's breathtaking location along the sun-drenched French Riviera, with its sparkling sea, warm climate, and a high standard of security, and it becomes clear why it has earned its reputation as a billionaire's paradise. The result is a real estate market that defies imagination, with property prices soaring to staggering heights, sometimes reaching 50, 60, or even 100,000 euros per square meter. Many wealthy individuals are willing to pay such extraordinary sums just to own a piece of this glamorous, tax-free haven, surrounded by an atmosphere of unmatched refinement and sophistication. However, it's worth being honest about one point. Despite Monaco's reputation for wealth and luxury, it is not a place where poverty exists in the way you might find elsewhere. Yes, you heard correctly. There are no people living on government benefits or surviving solely on minimum wages within Monaco's borders. This does not necessarily mean that every worker, whether they're a waiter, a housekeeper, or a valet, earns a fortune. I will explain how this seemingly paradoxical situation works a bit later, and I promise it will pique your interest, perhaps even offer a glimpse of how you might have a chance to earn euros in Monaco someday. But before we delve into the opportunities for earning and living in this land of wealth, let me show you how it's possible to visit Monaco without draining your wallet. And while we're on the subject of saving money, I encourage you to pay attention to this video, giving it a like, subscribing to the channel, and turning on notifications. It's quick, it's free, and it helps us continue bringing you fascinating stories about the most incredible places on the planet. Number 5. The legendary Casino de Monte Carlo. This iconic establishment is so renowned that it has become synonymous with the very essence of glamour and sophistication in Monaco. Interestingly, local residents are strictly prohibited from entering its elegant halls, a rule that adds an aura of exclusivity and mystery to this world-famous venue. As we discussed earlier, the Monte Carlo Casino is often considered the beating heart of the Principality's vibrant tourism scene. It is an absolute must-see for anyone exploring Monaco. One cannot truly begin to understand the city-state without experiencing this marvel firsthand. The moment you lay eyes on its grand facade, you are transported into a scene straight out of a classic film. Imagine yourself as a character stepping into a world of opulence and intrigue. The building itself is a masterpiece of neoclassical architecture, a design crafted by none other than Charles Garnier, the illustrious architect who also designed the magnificent Paris Opera House. The grandeur of its exterior is only a hint of what lies within. Upon entering, visitors are greeted by interiors that rival the splendor of a royal palace. The richly adorned halls, the awe-inspiring chandeliers that cast a warm glow over the luxurious surroundings, and the overall atmosphere of refined elegance make it clear that this is a place where wealth and taste are on full display. Here, the pulse of gambling beats strongly, with an array of classic card games such as poker and roulette attracting both seasoned players and curious newcomers. The casino also boasts dozens of different slot machines, each offering a chance at fortune and excitement. But Monte Carlo's appeal extends well beyond the gambling tables. The complex is a multifaceted cultural hub, featuring theaters, an opera hall, a museum, and some of the finest restaurants imaginable. It's no surprise that even the legendary spy James Bond himself has graced this location with his presence, adding to its mystique and allure. Speaking of Bond, there's a fascinating secret that adds a touch of clandestine intrigue to the casino's history. Beneath the grand structure lies a concealed underground tunnel, connecting it directly to the Hotel de Paris, situated just across the street. This discreet passage is used during exclusive events attended by stars, VIPs, and royalty, providing a private and secure route of passage. Such a feature perfectly embodies the suave, secretive glamour associated with the world of Sem. What could be more fitting? While the main entrance to the casino is open to all visitors free of charge, gaining access to the actual gaming rooms requires a ticket and adherence to a strict dress code. Casual attire such as shorts, sleeveless shirts, or flip-flops is not permitted. Every detail, from the attire to the atmosphere, is carefully curated to maintain an environment of elegance and discipline. Perhaps most intriguing of all is a historical regulation dating back to the 19th century. According to law, citizens of Monaco are forbidden from playing in the casinos within their own country. This rule originated during the reign of Prince Charles II, who was deeply concerned that local residents might squander their wealth in gambling establishments. As a result, Monaco transformed into a haven where foreigners could freely invest and indulge, while the native Monegasque population's fortunes were protected. Today, while most of Monaco's residents are actually foreigners themselves, wealthy expatriates who have made the Principality their home, this curious law remains a fascinating part of its history. It only adds to the allure of Monte Carlo, making it not just a place for gaming and luxury, but also a locale rich with intriguing stories and traditions that continue to enchant visitors from around the world. Number 6. Monaco's attractions extend far beyond its glamorous casinos and the adrenaline rush of the Formula One Grand Prix. For those drawn to history and culture, the Prince's Palace and the ancient quarter of Monacoville are essential stops. Perched atop the cliff of La Roche, these sites offer a glimpse into the Principality's regal past. The palace, which serves as the official residence of the Grimaldi family, is steeped in centuries of history. Visitors can witness the solemn spectacle of the changing of the guard precisely at noon, a ceremony that has become a cherished tradition, filled with pomp and pageantry. A short stroll from the palace leads to the historic cathedral, a magnificent structure where members of the royal family, including the beloved Princess Grace Kelly, are laid to rest. The cathedral's serene atmosphere and historical significance make it a poignant place to visit, connecting visitors with Monaco's royal lineage and its enduring legacy. Another cultural treasure is the Oceanographic Museum, founded by Prince Albert I. This institution is a treasure trove for marine enthusiasts, showcasing an impressive aquarium teeming with marine life and engaging exhibits on whales, marine exploration, and oceanic research. The museum's exhibits are both educational and captivating, offering insights into the mysteries of the deep sea. For lovers of botany and exotic plants, the Principality boasts a remarkable botanical garden. This lush sanctuary is home to rare cacti, succulents, and even a prehistoric cave adorned with stalactites. To truly understand how the wealthy indulge in their voyages across the sea, one must take a leisurely stroll through the bustling port of Urkel. Here, the eye is immediately drawn to the sight of magnificent yachts, elegantly moored in neat rows, their gleaming hulls reflecting the sunlight and hinting at the luxurious lives of their owners. These floating palaces symbolize opulence and grandeur, offering a glimpse into a world where wealth knows no bounds. As you wander along the quay, the atmosphere is filled with a sense of exclusivity and sophistication, inviting onlookers to imagine the adventures and private escapes of the elite who travel by sea in such splendid vessels. For those visitors who dream of dipping their toes into the crystal-clear waters of the Mediterranean, Larvota Beach presents an ideal haven. Although modest in size and artificially created to cater to the needs of beachgoers, this charming spot offers a tranquil refuge with its calm, inviting waters perfect for swimming. The beach is lined with lively beach bars and inviting restaurants, where patrons can indulge in refreshing drinks and savor delicious local cuisine while soaking up the sun. When the crowd becomes too dense, the locals simply settle onto the concrete steps that run along the shoreline, lying back and basking in the warm Mediterranean sun. Despite the simplicity of these makeshift sunbathing spots, they provide an unobstructed, breathtaking view of the coast, allowing everyone to enjoy the scenery and the gentle rhythm of the sea without a hint of worry or concern. Transitioning from the pleasures of the sea to the delights of culinary excellence, it becomes clear that after a day filled with sightseeing and exploration, there is nothing quite like sitting down at a fine table to enjoy a hearty meal. In Monaco, the art of gastronomy is taken very seriously, almost as if it were a national treasure. The Principality is renowned for its vibrant culinary scene, which exudes an air of sophistication and refinement. Here, haute cuisine is woven into the very fabric of daily life, with numerous restaurants boasting Michelin stars, testament to the high standards upheld by some of the world's most renowned chefs. The menus are dominated by French, Italian, and Mediterranean flavors, expertly blended to create a harmonious and refined tasting experience. For those eager to indulge in ultra-premium dining, Monaco offers a plethora of options that promise not only exquisite food but also an unforgettable atmosphere. One of the most iconic establishments in Monaco is Les Tintinsta, located within the legendary Paris Hotel. This renowned restaurant is helmed by none other than Alain Ducasse, a culinary master whose reputation spans the globe. Dining here is an experience that elevates the simple act of eating into an art form. Even a modest snack can come with a hefty price tag, sometimes reaching 200, 300, or even 400 euros per person. Yet, for those seeking more accessible options, Monaco also offers a wealth of cozy cafes, bistros, and bustling local markets, where visitors can enjoy more modest fare at reasonable prices. The traditional cuisine of Monaco, known as maniga, reflects the country's luxurious atmosphere through its distinctive dishes. Among these, two stand out: Branda Minicium and Fugassa de Monaco. Branda Minicium is a hearty dish made from cod, infused with garlic, olive oil, white sauce, and thistle, a regionally native plant that adds a unique flavor. On the other hand, Fugassa de Monaco bears resemblance to Italian focaccia but is distinguished by its sweet nature, filled with hazelnuts, almonds, and flavored with red and white anise, a fragrant spice that adds a distinctive Mediterranean touch. Adding to Monaco's rich gastronomic tapestry is its own craft beer, brewed locally at the Brasserie Monaco. Situated right beside the port, this brewery specializes in organic, artisanal beers crafted from carefully selected malts, using a fully automated brewing system. Its products embody the highest standards of quality and craftsmanship. Notably, the brewery gained international fame for creating a special edition beer to celebrate the royal wedding of Prince Albert II, aptly dubbed Beer for Monarchs. This exclusive brew symbolizes the country's penchant for blending tradition with modern luxury, whether sharing a glass among billionaires or savoring a slice of its unique culinary heritage. Monaco demonstrates that true luxury extends beyond yachts and timepieces. It is also reflected in the meticulous craftsmanship and exquisite flavors of its dishes. Moving beyond the pleasures of fine dining and the port's glamour, we arrive at a fascinating aspect of Monaco's social fabric, the assertion that the country is free of poverty. This claim, which may seem extraordinary at first glance, is rooted in official statistics that state the poverty rate in Monaco is effectively zero. Whether you believe this or not, there is a certain truth to this remarkable statistic. However, it does not mean that life in Monaco is accessible to everyone equally. On the contrary, the high cost of living here acts as a natural barrier, effectively excluding those without substantial financial means from truly participating in the country's luxurious lifestyle. A modest apartment in Monaco can easily cost several million euros. If you find yourself unable to afford the cost of living in this extraordinary place, then it's simply impossible for you to remain here permanently. The sheer expense of housing, goods, and services creates a barrier that only those with substantial wealth can overcome. But what about the essential workers, waiters, maids, drivers, salespeople, those individuals whose roles are vital to the functioning of this tiny but bustling principality? Do they earn salaries comparable to the high standards of Monaco? Not exactly. The reality is that most of these workers do not reside within Monaco itself. Instead, they commute daily from neighboring cities across the borders of France or Italy, traveling back and forth each day to their jobs. They work diligently in Monaco's luxurious hotels, restaurants, and shops, yet after their shifts conclude, they head back to more affordable homes outside the principality because renting or purchasing property within Monaco is simply beyond their financial reach. In essence, no one here goes hungry or faces destitution because the entire system is built around the fact that staying in Monaco requires a significant amount of capital. This is not just a fortunate exception, it is an integral part of the entire societal and economic structure. Poverty, in the traditional sense, does not really exist within Monaco's borders. The reason is that survival and stability depend entirely on having substantial financial resources. It may sound almost impossible to believe, but this is precisely how the system functions, where wealth acts as both the foundation and the gatekeeper to the lifestyle and security the country offers. Now, moving on to the ninth remarkable feature, impressive security. To conclude our exploration of Monaco on a high note, it is impossible not to highlight one of its most extraordinary characteristics, the unparalleled level of safety. In a nation where the streets are often filled with millionaires and billionaires freely mingling, a sense of security is not just a luxury but an absolute necessity. Surprisingly, Monaco boasts a police force that is extraordinarily well staffed for its size. Reports suggest there is roughly one police officer for every 70 residents, a figure that, depending on the source, might vary slightly, but in any case, remains astonishingly high for such a small country. And the security measures do not stop there. The entire territory of Monaco is meticulously monitored by an extensive network of CCTV cameras. Walk 2 steps down the street, and you are likely already within the gaze of a surveillance camera. Turn a corner, and you might find yourself back in the frame, captured from multiple angles. This pervasive surveillance system ensures a level of control that is almost unmatched anywhere else in the world. As a result of this comprehensive security infrastructure, crime rates in Monaco are remarkably low. Incidents such as thefts, robberies, or assaults are so rare that when they do occur, they make headlines and become noteworthy exceptions rather than the rule. Tourists and residents alike stroll the streets while wearing expensive watches openly, without any fear of theft or mugging. Luxurious cars and security personnel are commonly seen parked outside upscale restaurants and hotels, and nobody appears to be looking nervously over their shoulders. Of course, for visitors coming from countries where crime is more prevalent, this level of constant surveillance and security might seem excessive or even unsettling. However, for those who live here, it's simply part of the familiar comfort and peace of mind. Being able to wear a Rolex or leave a Ferrari unlocked without worry is a privilege that is not easily found elsewhere in the world. So, What do you think about this almost surreal level of safety and security in Monaco? Can you imagine living in such a protected environment where security is woven into the fabric of daily life? And after considering all that we've learned, its history, its glittering reputation, and the astonishing facts, what surprised you the most? Did you know that Monaco's citizens are prohibited from playing at the famous Monte Carlo casino? Or that nearly no one resides in Monaco unless they possess an enormous fortune? Share your thoughts and impressions in the comments. I am genuinely curious to hear what struck you most about this tiny, yet uniquely fascinating country. I hope you've enjoyed today's journey into the heart of Monaco. If you found it interesting, please consider reflecting on what you've learned and perhaps sharing it with others. Your support and engagement help us to continue creating more captivating and insightful content. Don't forget to stay tuned for the next video, which will appear on your screen shortly. I'm confident that you will find this content enjoyable and engaging. As you watch, please remember to share your thoughts by leaving a comment, especially letting us know which country you'd like us to explore in future videos. Your feedback helps us decide on our next adventure and ensures we bring you the destinations you're most interested in. Thank you sincerely for taking the time to watch. Your support means a great deal to us. We look forward to seeing you again in our next video, where new journeys and discoveries await. Until then, take care and stay curious.